CTV News.
Okay. This is it. I'm live. How's it going out there, palm nuts and exotic plant freaks? Yes, I did a live stream yesterday. Wasn't a lot of people in there. I'm sure you guys were out in the garden enjoying the nice weather. And if you're out there watching right now, feel free to jump in. It is 5:51 p.m. Pacific time here. And there's some heavy duty clouds moving in right now from the northwest. So if it does start to rain, I'm going to be packing this stuff up and moving it in. A lot of blue sky to the southwest, but there's a lot of gray to the north. And it was absolutely beautiful out here today. We did get some rain this morning, about 12 millimeters of it. And 12.5 millimeters is exactly a half an inch of rain. So we had just under half an inch of rain, which is really good for the garden. Current temperature here on Salt Spring Island at this end of the rock is 16 degrees Celsius with 62% humidity. It's actually very nice out here. There's Miss T hanging out over there. Hey. Nice out?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just it was the sun was right out now.
I know, now it's cloudy. So I gotta watch the weather very closely, having a laptop out here. We don't want to, the minute I see a raindrop, I'm gonna be closing the show, folks. Anyway, hope everybody's doing well out there and staying safe. We just had a phone call and the call display said Ohio on it. And most of you know Ohio is the Buckeye state, so I picked it up and I usually answer the phone, Magnolia Petal Accommodation. As some of you know, we do have a B&B here, but we've been shut during the pandemic. And the first thing I said to that person, well, they asked me if the B&B was open. And the first thing I said to them, I says, the borders are actually closed. So there's no way to actually get to Canada and stay in our B&B. And that's when I passed her through to Wendy. But they were looking to come to Canada, right? And you can't really get to Canada right now. I don't think the border's open until end of July.
Non-essential right now.
Non-essential. There's just a news report on it. So
and they say July and into the end of July. So it's basically saying, despite the ban on travel between the U.S. and Canada, some tourists have been heading through Alberta, reportedly telling border guards they're going to Alaska.
That's wrong, man.
It's kind of awful, but there's a loophole, and so some people are taking advantage of that. So. And it's not good because everybody's just trying to keep everyone safe.
Yeah.
So kind of for now, it's like we're not opening. Don't feel comfortable opening the B&B until we know. Basically, we're trying to keep COVID down, the numbers down.
The B&B is shut right now. We've been closed through the whole pandemic. We have not opened our B&B during the COVID crisis. Anyway, but when things return to normal and they say it's safe to do so, we are going to open the B&B. But right now we want to keep the island safe. Snowbird Flock, I'm here, Joe. Thanks for the alert. Hello, Dave. Say hi, Wendy. There's Snowbird Flock. Wendy says hi. There's Wendy right there. Hey.
How are you?
Oh, and there's the phone.
There goes the phone.
Could be another. See, people are phoning now and they want to stay in the B&B, Dave. But the B&B has been closed. And I was just saying, if you missed it, a lady just phoned from Ohio, and she wanted to stay, wanted to come and visit, which is great. We love people from Ohio, and anywhere you want to come from, you're more than welcome to stay at Magnolia Petal B&B. But it's going to be a little bit difficult to get to Canada right now because the borders are closed. And I don't think it's going to be till the end of July that the government's going to decide to open up the borders again, and maybe they'll even prolong it. I think we're done.
Okay, just redo it.
Can't redo it. Once you do one live stream, that's the end of it. You can't. Oh, there we go. We're back on. Okay, so I'll tell you what happened. We lost the connection. Wendy shut the French doors, and it cut the connection off to the router. So I got the.
We're on a learning curve.
No, I know what's going on here. Anyway, so once everything resumes to normal, if it does ever get back to normal, Magnolia Petal B&B will open. And we do have people stay here from all over the world. And the lady actually did say she wanted to see the gardens. She wanted to see the exotic gardens. And a lot of people stay at our B&B to see the exotic gardens here around the place. So anyway, you're more than welcome to come and visit Magnolia Petal B&B when things come back to normal. There's that hummingbird again. There's some fake, like I said yesterday, there's some fake lays, flower lays hanging on this patio umbrella, and the hummingbird keeps coming to these plastic made in Taiwan lays. It thinks they're real till it sticks his beak in the stamens. Jonathan Bettinger, aloha Joe, aloha to you, Jonathan. Nice to see you in there. Yeah, I did do a live stream yesterday on this one, and there was a few people in there, not a whole lot. And this is just kind of a random one, but hope all is well out there. We had started off with a rainy morning here on the Gulf Islands, and by noon, the sun was out shining. It was beautiful out, and we did pick up just under a half inch of precipitation, which is really nice for the gardens. The gardens have never looked lusher. It is really like a rainforest around here when you get that rain, even though we are not in a rainforest on the inner south coast here. The outer south coast is the rainforest. You get out to the west coast of Vancouver Island, the Big Island, that's where the real rainforest is, where those guys get about 12 feet of rain a year. Here we're about 30 to 35 inches annually precipitation. And last year we had about 28 inches of rain here on Salt Spring Island. So it can get pretty dry here on this island. Did I hear Kahu? Yes, Kahu. You did hear Kahu. Hey, Kahu, come here and say hi to Dave. Kahu, come here. Kahu, he's coming back. I'm going to put him up to the screen so you can see him. Come here, Kahu. You want to see Snowbird Flock? Come here. Come here, buddy. Okay, come here. You. There's Kahu. There he is. There's Kahu right there. You got to look into the screen. There's those big ears. There he is. There's our dog. There's yawning. He thinks he's a watchdog. He's not really a watchdog. He just barks at a whole lot of nothing. Anyway, there's our 8 pounds of terror right there. There's Kahu. Anyway, hello. You getting groomed next week? He gets groomed off island. So Wendy takes him to the special groomer. His favorite groomer, and Wendy's favorite groomer. So she does a good job on him. So every 6 weeks, this guy goes in to get a haircut so he doesn't look like a hippie.
Well, he's not had he had a COVID cut before. So the last time she cut him super short.
He's a good guy. Gotta love Kahu. Yeah, she cut him way too short. He grows back fast. Love the antenna ears. Yeah. Somebody said, is that an Ewok? Let's just see. Hi, I just called about the times for Magnolia Petal. Brian. Okay, cool. Brian Lowry. Okay, because I said somebody just called from Ohio. And like I said, yeah, we love to have people from all over the world stay here, but it's just difficult to get through right now because the borders are closed, I think, till end of July. But we've had people from Ohio stay here before, Pennsylvania, all over the U.S. and all over the world come here and stay at Magnolia Petal. So when it opens up, you have a website, don't you?
No.
Well, you have a Facebook page. Yeah, you know what? There is actually a Magnolia, Brian. There is actually a Magnolia Petal Facebook page for the B&B, and you can go to that. But when it's open, you'll definitely know. And I think there are some B&Bs open here, but we decided it was the best thing to do is to close during what's been going on, just to keep the island safe. But when it's open, hey, you're more than welcome to come down here and kick back, enjoy the rock, and enjoy the exotic gardens. Hope everything's going well out there, Brian. In the Buckeye State, I saw Ohio come up on the on this call display, and it says, Ohio. That's a long way away. I think that's like 3 time zones east of here. I'm pretty sure. Wow. Right now it is 6 p.m. Pacific time here on the Gulf Islands, and it was really nice when I brought this computer out, and it's very gray over top of me, but I'm seeing a lot of blue sky over there. There's a lot of blue sky that way, but to the northwest, there's not blue sky. Ohio and Pennsylvania is my eyes to the saddest. Well, I've never been there. I don't know, but I know a lot of people that do live over in those areas. What is the max temperature in the water on Salt Spring Island? Well, if you go to the west side of the island in the summer months, it's probably around, I don't know, 70s, low 70s. And this side of the island, we're on the cool side of the island. The water's a little cooler here. It's probably in the 60s. I would say probably ocean temperature, summer, probably about 68, something like that. Good to cool off on a hot day. That's what we do. We go swimming in there. But we got thicker blood up this far north, and it doesn't bother me. So the west side of the island is always warmer in the water. Jonathan, I saw a short yucca on my walk around the neighborhood, and I thought of your garden. Cool. I wonder what it was. Brian, okay, makes sense. You have to keep everything. Yeah, we are just better safe than sorry, Brian. That's why Wendy has shut the B&B, but it will open up. This year has really been a write-off. You were opened up at the beginning of the year. We had people stay in January. January, February, we were open. And once everything went really crazy, she shut it down. So nobody's been here since then. So, it'd be nice to catch the last part of the season. The busiest months are, what are the busiest months here in the B&B?
July, August, September.
July, August,
Well,
September.
yeah,
Actually,
June,
it's in May you can get a few
yeah,
people too.
June, July, August, September
Yeah,
are
yeah,
the peak seasons.
yeah, yeah. It just, and the weather's really nice then too. It's nice and dry and nice and sunny. And June is a really funny month here. A lot of islanders like to call it January because it can be, you know, either cloudy. You can get some rainy days. I'm not seeing any raindrops on my computer yet, thank God. But it does look like it could rain. And if it does, I'm going to pack this up. I saw yucca. Yeah, so it could have been a yucca, Jonathan. It could have been a yucca filamentosa, maybe. I wonder if it was a yucca filamentosa. We have a lot of different yuccas in our garden, and if you visit our garden at some point, you will see how many yuccas we grow here. There are dozens of yuccas on our property of various species. Late August on Salt Spring was wonderful. Oh yeah, you were here at late August. It was beautiful, wasn't it? It was really, really nice. And the driest months, of course, well, we're into the dry months now, but it gets really dry. July, August, and September are extremely dry here, and the weather's really warm and pleasant, but it's a little too dry for me. I kind of get freaked out about forest fire season. And knock on wood, we haven't had any major forest fires here on this island in a long time. We get spotty ones here and there from people that drive down the road and chuck their cigarettes out, and they start little fires on the side of the road. But the fire department usually gets on top of those pretty quickly. And oh, right on. Thank you. Oh, the pasta. That's right. I made you pasta. Thank you. Well, we loved you guys too, and I like that hot sauce. That was awesome. Yeah, that's right. I did make you guys pasta. We had a little vino out there in the courtyard, and it was nice. And I think you guys saw the gallery too. You saw Wendy's gallery. You'd have to see Wendy's new gallery. Um, she built a new studio. So what had happened, beside the shed, we had a lean-to that was 8 by 8, and you could kind of get into it, but you had to crouch down to get into it. It wasn't that high. It was maybe 5 feet high, and a tree fell on it and smashed it up. So Wendy ripped it down and rebuilt it into something you can actually go into, and it has a door on it and everything. So that's where she's going to do her painting. She's going to do her art in there, and it looks really nice. It's actually, you can see it behind her right there. You see that right there with all the shakes on it? So the shed is the red, and then right there, she built that, and it's just beautiful. It's really nice. Got bamboo floors in it, and she's finished it off with cedar. She just has to finish the ceiling. It's all insulated and everything, and so that's where she's going to be hanging out a lot. That's her she shed. I have my man cave, and Wendy has your she shed. Palms, are trackies kind of resistant to fire like washies are? Well, you know what? Down on Beach Avenue in Vancouver, a couple of those palms several years ago were lit on fire. Somebody lit the fiber on fire in summer, and it didn't kill them. It burnt up the fiber though, but I guess they are somewhat resistant. I know the ones down in Palm Desert. There was a big fire that went through there. Somebody lit the skirts on fire, and it's incinerated the palm trees, but they all came back. So I'm guessing Trachycarpus must be somewhat fire resistant. Maybe not quite fire resistant as Washingtonia fliv, but the ones down on Beach Avenue, like I say, the fiber, but it wasn't burnt right down to the bare trunk. But you can see where it's scorched all the way up the trunks, and the trunks are about 20 feet tall on those ones. I was down there last summer admiring them. Great memories and love the gallery. Will return. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, well, come on back anytime. It was great having you guys here. It was a lot of fun. And next time we'll go down to the beach. I don't think you guys made it to the beach across the street. There's a really nice beach right across the street from us. You walk down this little nature trail, about a 5 minute walk through this little trail. It's about maybe 20 feet wide, 30 feet wide, and it's about 900 feet long. And you walk down that, and you're right down to this white crushed shell beach, and the view is absolutely beautiful. You're looking over to the other eastern Gulf islands. You see Wallis Island, you can see Secretary, Jack Screw, Galliano, and then to the south you can see the northern end of Pender Island. It's a really peaceful area, and usually really never see anybody down there. I got a 1 gallon needle palm yesterday. Ah, cool. Where'd you get that at? Did you get it at Home Depot? So needle palms are kind of hard to find up here. Okay, Home Depot brought a bunch in several years ago, and I bought a bunch. And there's a nursery in Langley that sometimes brings them in too, out near Vancouver. Speaking of plants and palms, I hate it when people say the Canadian flag looks like A pot leaf, yes. You know what the Canadian flag is, folks? I'll tell you what the Canadian flag is. Let me just grab it. And I ended up cutting down this, but the Canadian flag is that's what's on the Canadian flag right there. Actually, I just ripped the top of that maple leaf off. Let me get a better one. Let me get a better one right here. This is that's what's on the Canadian flag right there. Okay, so that's not a pot leaf. Okay, that's not Cannabis sativa. That's Acer macrophyllum. That is a large leaf maple. And this tree behind me, you see that tree with the little bird feeder on top with all the ivy growing it? I cut the top off of that. I cut at least 40 feet or so off the top of that tree. And then I knocked it down even one more notch. Tomorrow I'm going to actually ring it. They're a very difficult tree to keep under control. They're a beautiful tree. There's massive ones in the forest here, massive ones. I'm going to flip this around so you can see into the forest, okay? There's huge maple trees into the forest, and they're large leaf maples in with the Douglas firs. But over your house, they're very brittle, and they break branches easily, and they drop a billion of these leaves in the fall. So we got the top off, and so Dave, if you remember the gallery, it was kind of partly shaded in there, more shaded. That area is actually full sun now. The sun comes right in there, and it's so warm, it's so different that I knocked the top off this Canadian maple tree. So that is what's on the Canadian flag, folks, a large leaf maple. And this is a tiny leaf, okay? That's an immature leaf. The leaves grow massive. It would take up more than the screen of my computer. There it is right there. That's what's on the Canadian flag, not a pot leaf. I'm sure some people would like a pot leaf on the Canadian flag. Any good way of telling a normal boutia from a mule queen boutia? I got a mule, a meter tall, sold as boutia odorata. I asked the seller how old the palm was, and he said 4 years. Or not. Boutias actually grow pretty fast here on Salt Spring Island. There's a boutia right behind me, right there. You see it? Actually, let me flip this down a bit. I'll get out of the way. There's a boutia right there. That's a boutia capitata. I call them capitata. I know odorata. We do have mule palms here. I have boutia crossed with jubea. I also have Ciagris boutia, and I don't think there's any jubea in it. And it definitely looks different than a boutia odorata or a capitata. The leaves are not so recurved on it. They're more upright and wispy. Okay, boutia capitata has got more recurved blue fronds on it, and nevertheless a pretty hardy palm. But boutia is not super hardy like a jubea. Jubea chilensis, Chilean wine palm, is the hardiest. Sunny and warm in the gallery. Yes, Dave, it is now. It's amazing. Oh, the sun goes in there, and we're standing in that sun yesterday at the gallery. Is absolutely beautiful. That courtyard's completely different. But yeah, well, what you got to do, palms, is Google images of mule palms and Google images of Boutia capitata and Boutia odorata. I still get them confused. There's also Boutia aerospatha, which has wispier leaves, but they are still kind of recurved. And there used to be a big one growing in town, like I mentioned before, at my friend's place. He moved. So he called me up. He says, Joe, we got to move this palm tree. So we dug it out, threw it on the back of his grandson's truck, and he took it over to the Big Island. And it is growing happily now at Dr. Bob's garden, where he moved to. He's also got jubea and a bunch of other stuff there. He's right down, I think, near the water in a really good Northern Zone 9A area of Vancouver Island. But boutia are very common, are very prone to losing their center spears in a bad winter. That's the really only thing I don't like about Boutia capitata. If you're in the deep south, they can recover quite quickly. This far north, you're going to have to treat them with hydrogen peroxide or copper sulfate, which I can't be bothered with. I have lost Boutia here before. In December 2008, I had a pretty good sized Boutia in the garden, and it lost its center spear, and it stayed green for 2 years after without center spears. I didn't treat it. I couldn't be bothered. And then it finally petered out. So I just dug it out. And then I planted something else there in its place. And the thing that I planted is absolutely thriving, the Fatsia. It was a tiny Fatsia. Now it's a full-blown Fatsia tree. All right. So Boutia are very prone to losing center spears in a bad winter, as where Jubea has a much hardier cold tolerance and are less likely to lose their center spears in a deep freeze. Jubea seems to have proven itself on our island. Jubea chilensis, Chilean wine palm. There is one growing in town that absolutely looks flawless. We planted it in 1999, originally here in a garden, moved it to another garden, and then moved it to town in 2000. I think it was 2006. And the crazy gardener that works at this place moved one of the other ones to the front of the garden, and it looks like it's dying. She should have just left the thing alone. Just she also cut down two huge cordylines. We're in town today, Wendy and I, and there's some nice cordylines blooming in town. So I will try to take pictures of those tomorrow. They're in front of the wellness center, and they're absolutely beautiful with nice flowers coming off of them. I've been to the USA, but never to the South. Montana is my eyes, the nicest U.S. state. I once heard they wanted to join Canada. U.S. Montana's big sky country. I've never been there, but Wendy's been there. Wendy's been to Montana. Wendy's been, I think, to a lot of states. I've been to, let's just see, Washington, Oregon, California, Texas, Florida, Hawaii, Alaska. So I've been to quite a few states, but I think my favorite has got to be Oregon and Hawaii. They're really nice states. But I'm sure I'd like Montana too. I've seen pictures of it, and I've met a lot of people from Montana. Palms. I had spear pull on a butia even here because of the stupidity of planting it in winter and watering it too much. Coldest temp -2. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it doesn't take much. It's well, length of the freeze, but that's not really a long freeze. But if water gets down there and freezes, sometimes they are prone to it, especially a younger palm. Now there are butia palms growing here on our island that have been in the ground for more than 25 years now, and they were planted when they were tiny, and they have never been damaged. The trunks are about as tall as me now. All right, so they're fine. They seem to be foolproof if they're planted in the right location. Where did Wendy go to in Montana? I love the little town of Judith Gap. Where did you go to in Montana?
Oh, God.
You went when you were years ago, right? You've been to Montana.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've probably been to Idaho
You know
too.
what? I was.
She lived in
yeah,
North Dakota. She used to live
but
in
I
North
was
Dakota.
really young.
Yeah,
and
she
we
was
used to
young.
travel all through the
Her
state.
dad was a native. He is an anthropologist at a college.
So we do a lot of
Yeah.
First Nation sundances and powwows.
So they did a lot of First Nation sundances and powwows. You probably
and
heard
go
that.
visit them.
So they'd visit a lot of different states,
Yeah.
Arizona, Montana, Idaho, and she did live in North Dakota when she was a kid, and she went to school there
But I
because
was
her dad
so
taught her to
young
go.
that I don't.
She was so young. She was 58 years old at the time.
Yeah.
Now she's 60, but she doesn't remember because when
I
you
don't
turn
remember
60, you
all the
lose your
places.
memory, okay?
Yeah.
She wasn't. She was about 10
But it
years
was
old.
beautiful.
I think she was, were you 10? 9 or 10?
I was 9.
She was 9 when she lived in North Dakota. So she lived there
But we
50,
traveled
51
through
years
the
ago.
States ever since I was a kid.
Yeah, she's been traveling a lot through the states. So she's been to Montana, but she doesn't remember exactly which
Yeah.
place in Montana. And I have seen a lot of videos and pictures of
We're
Montana.
gonna
Looks
have to
awesome.
go.
Yo, 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 what is up, Michael Morris? I'll tell you what's up. Well, as long as these clouds don't have any rain in them, we're going to be laughing right here, okay? It is 6:15. We're 23.31 into the live stream. I'm still seeing the blue sky that way, but this way is looking pretty ominous with those gray clouds. But do you think they
blue
look?
above you right
Oh,
now? But
there's blue above us too, so that's a good thing. So there's blue garden, but the clouds seem to be coming in from the northwest off of the Pacific Ocean, and hopefully there's no precipitation up there right now. I do want some rain, but it can rain after I'm finished doing this live stream. So hopefully everybody's doing good out there and staying safe. And I know things are starting to open up and get back to normal.
yeah.
Oh wow, I lived in North Dakota. Oh yeah, lived in yeah. Oh wow, yeah. She lived in Grand Forks, North Dakota.
Never
I
seen so
haven't
much snow.
She has never seen so much snow in her life. I haven't been there since 1980. My mom's American. My dad's Romanian, and my bro's sister. Oh, cool. Right on.
Cool.
So that is awesome. I remember you telling me you're Romanian. Cool. Right on. Rain
Wasn't
today in the valley.
Where was Fargo? That show.
Fargo was filmed there.
Was it filmed in
Yeah.
North Dakota?
Michael Morris. Right on. Rain today in the valley. Well, I'll tell you what. It rained here this morning, and then the sun came out by noon and was absolutely beautiful the rest of the day. And we had 12 millimeters of precipitation here. Palms. Have you looked into the palmy potential of the Faroe Islands? And it's, oh, I know about the Faroe Islands. But you know what? I always look for palms in the YouTube videos there. I've actually talked to the Faroe Islands on my two-way radio. I remember talking to the Faroe Islands and getting a QSL card / postcard from them to confirm the QSO with them. And that would have been about 1978. I was talking DX on my two-way radio, and a guy came back to me from the Faroe Islands, and that was, 42 years ago. And I still actually have that QSL card in my collection. And I still do talk on the radio. You can see my videos here of my high frequency radio system I broadcast on. But I have not talked to the Faroe Islands since, but I think palm trees would definitely grow there. They would also grow in the Falkland Islands because I have a friend that went to the Falkland Islands and he took a picture for me of some nice, beautiful big cordylines growing in the Falkland Islands. That was about in the late 96, 97, and I still have the photo in my album. He took 3 photos for me of cordylines growing in the Falkland Islands, and they were big cordylines, not small ones. I asked him before he went. I says, if you see any palms down there, Tom, take pictures for me. And so he comes back with these pictures. He says, I got some pictures of palms for you. They were cordyline australis, and they look good. But I'm thinking Faroe Islands, they definitely would. They definitely work out there. I don't know. I haven't compared the temperatures to Salt Spring Island. Maybe they're very similar. I know they're out into the Atlantic Ocean, and I think they're kind of a Scandinavian, aren't they? Kind of a Scandinavian type country, like Iceland and Denmark, kind of like that with the language and stuff. Yeah, I'd like to see a video and see some palm trees on the Faroe Islands. I think that would be pretty cool. Ryan, my amigo has a lot of palms. I am actually at his garden, at his sweet. And whereabouts is that, Brian? Whereabouts? Palms. Yes, they are owned by Okay, there we go. Owned by Denmark. That's what I thought. But yeah, actually did talk there one time, and I was. I'll tell you how old I was when I talked there. I was 14. I was 14 years old when I talked there on my two-way radio to some dude on the Faroe Islands, and he did speak English, but he did have an accent. And I didn't even know where the Faroe Islands was at that time, so he had to give me the coordinates so I knew where it was, and then I could look on the globe when I was talking to him, because that was before we had the internet. But it'd be a neat place to see. And I'm guessing they probably do grow there because it's probably regulated the temperature by the ocean, just like we are. We're on an island here, so there's no extremes, right? We may never get as hot as it does in the deep south, but we don't get as cold, and we do get warm enough for us. It's definitely warm enough here for me and everybody else that lives on the island. I'm quite happy with the temperatures here. I don't want them any warmer. When I want warm, I go to Hawaii or we go to California, but I prefer Hawaii. That is awesome. We need to get some seed there. Yeah, I've never sent seed to the Faroe Islands. I've sent seed pretty much everywhere else. Where did I send some seed to the other day? I mailed some seed off today up to Vancouver Island. I ship seed every week, palm seed. I shipped some seed a few days ago to Mexico, and I've shipped to Mexico before. But it's funny that somebody in Mexico wants to grow seed from here. And then the week before that, I shipped some of my seed to Thailand. I shipped some of my Trachycarpus seed to a guy in Thailand. Can you believe that? It's like, I didn't even know they grew Trachycarpus fortunei in Thailand. It just boggles my mind. When did you go to California? I've been to California a few times. The first time I went, Dave, was in December 2000 or 1981 when I was 17. Me and my buddy drove down and I was there for 2 weeks. Stayed in Rosemed in Hollywood, hung out at Disneyland. Then we drove down about 200 miles down into the Baja, New Mexico. And in 2004, I went down into Northern California. We drove down there with the kids to Crescent City. And then in the summer of 2008, we took the kids to Disneyland and we stayed down there for, I guess, about a week or 10 days. So last time I was down there was August 2008. And we stayed in Anaheim. And we got a 3-day pass to Disneyland, to Universal Studios and all that stuff. And Hollywood. Yeah. Palms. Yeah, that was me too. That was to me. Oh, that was to you. Right. So, did you get those? You got the seeds, right? Did you get them? Tell me you got the seeds, because I mailed those off to you, and I like to know when the seeds arrive. If people let me know, that makes me happy. And there's only been a couple of times where they didn't make it to the destination, so they either got ripped off in the mail or they got lost. I'm thinking they got ripped off in the mail. I sent some to a guy in Poland, and he was dying to get these seeds, so I mailed him the seeds. And 4 weeks had passed, or 5 weeks. He didn't get the seeds. And so I sent him another batch of seeds, and I said, let me know when the seeds. I have not heard back from him yet, so hopefully they made it. Not yet. Okay, well, let me know. Yeah, thank you. Let me know when they arrive. That really makes me happy, because my palms and seeds make it to the destinations. I don't have a problem with that. When somebody buys seeds from me, I mail them like the next day. And actually, I got a seed order today that came in. I got it first thing this morning, so I actually mailed them today. So they were mailed the same day or the next day. So I'm good like that. And I've been selling seeds and palms for a long time, long before eBay. I sell them on eBay, but I've been selling them long before the internet came along. Okay, I've always been growing palms and selling seeds. So yeah, I'm good on my word. So I appreciate it if you let me know, and it'll be nice to see them growing in your garden.
Okay.
Oh, we're doing a live stream.
There you go.
The computer guy. Wendy's got her computer back. She's going to be happy. She's got her Mac back. Mac attack. Big Mac attack. I run a crappy Toshiba here. I can't afford a Mac. And I have a Lenovo too. Bad connection. Hey guys, computer connections bad. Computer guys here. I better sign off for now. So thanks for joining in. Wendy's doing some stuff with the computer guy, and it's getting the connection starting to get really crappy here. So hey, take care, you guy. Take care, you guys, and thanks for joining in. I better call her quits for now because Wendy's going to be playing with her computer on here. Looks like the connection's on. So if I disappear, I want to thank all of you guys for coming on here. And if I disappear, it's because of the connections failed. Because, like I said, the computer guys are working on something. So, anyway, Palms works again. That's good. Can you see the? Can you see what I'm?